okay? Hey guys, or I should have worn red today. Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, March 26, 2019. Super excited to be with Elizabeth, Delby, and Nicole. Today we're going to talk about all things having to do with the heart, health, handbags, all sorts of fun stuff. We've had Elizabeth on the show before. She's a fantastic guest. She's got a great story. So let us know you can hear us and see us. That's always the most important thing. Nobody wants to see my lips flapping for 30 minutes without some sort of sound, or maybe that's your point. I don't know. Welcome, ladies. Very happy to have you guys on here.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. And thanks for being patient, because Elizabeth and I had this scheduled prior, and then all my schedule and my life went insane, as it usually does. Hey, April, what's up? Hey, Jennifer. And I had to reschedule. So we didn't make it during Heart Month. February, but you know, we still made it in March, even though it's the end.
Still important.
Still important, right? All right, so hey, what's up, my friend, Mr. Sanchez? What's going on? So give us a little background. We'll start with Elizabeth. Give us a little background on you. What they want to know is a little bit about you and why this is important. If you can try not to do I was born and now I'm here at the TED show, give them a little bit of background on you.
Well, I'm Elizabeth, and in 2011 I became a heart survivor and started a for-profit, which was Elizabeth Scoble Handbags, which we talked about a couple months ago.
We did.
And we kicked off this year the 501c3 nonprofit, Elizabeth Scoble Heart Foundation. And that is just an extra bonus to what we're already doing in our efforts to raise money to pay for local women's heart medicine through the sale of our handbags, but now the foundation side of it, we can make donations, globally, that people can participate and help as well.
So that was, you had no history, right? Tell them a little bit about your story, because I think people hear the stats, but you're a living example of that stat.
Yes. It's an epidemic. Women are dying at an alarming rate. I never knew this. It's our #1 killer. 1 in 30 women die of all cancers combined, but 1 in 3 die of heart disease. Every 80 seconds, a woman's dying from it. And so I didn't take it seriously. I'm tall, I'm slender, I'm athletic, and my blood pressure was 100/60. And I became very, very ill and was housebound for 11 months and constantly being told it's just stress, don't worry about it. And I said, no, there's something with my heart. And long story short, I went up to the Mayo Clinic where they diagnosed me with a very fatal electrical heart condition. And the head cardiologist said, you're lucky to be alive. Most people don't live past the age of 20. And so she said, research. It's a rare condition, and research it. And that's when I found out that there was a very unequal treatment of how women are treated versus men, and a growing alarm. There's a lot of improvements made for men's heart, but for as far as women, it's becoming this huge gap that more and more women are dying, and even younger in their 20s, 30s, there's a growing alarm.
Why is the gap there? Is it because women, traditionally you think of a man has a heart attack, and why is it that women are not paying attention?
Well, I think there's a couple reasons. One is that we're used to seeing in movies that men's heart attacks are on the left side, and they lean over. But women's warning or signs are very, very different. It can be on both sides. Chest pain, they can feel flu-like. It can be the jaw, the neck, everything. So it's very different. And so there's this lack of knowledge that women are not receiving to understand that, hey, it's your #1 killer and you need to know these signs. And I became an international speaker sharing my story as well. And one thing that I learned through that journey was that women were caretakers. And if our husbands maybe start feeling these signs, we're real quick to tell them, hey, let's go to the hospital. But for us, we're more like, oh, we're fine, we'll be okay, it's just flu, I'll get over it, because we're taking care of everybody else, but we're the last person to take care of ourselves. So it's this combination of just not knowing or understanding it, and recognizing that, hey, this is our #1 killer, these are our signs, and we need to take it serious. And then there's another problem, is that most cardiologists or even family doctors don't always recognize that these symptoms are the signs of a female heart attack, and they need to be taken seriously.
Which is so fascinating to me, because you think they would be, above all, the ones that would understand that it's different, or it can be different. It presents itself differently for women a lot of times. And so instead of writing it off, that's why you have to be your own best advocate, no matter what your health crisis or situation is. You should never, ever, ever, ever just take it lying down. If you really feel like something, you know your body better than anyone else. I preach this all the time. All right, so how did these two lovely ladies, we have Nicole and Delby, to Elizabeth's left here. Tell us a little bit about you guys and how you got involved.
Well, I guess I'll start. So I actually started dating Elizabeth's youngest son, Shane, and Elizabeth just asked me to go to an event with her. And at this event, we actually met like 3 women, I believe, who just told us stories about the ages of 20 to 35 of girls passing away from heart disease. And that really just hit me, like it hit me so hard. So I just went to Elizabeth and I was like, what can I do? What can I do to share this and tell people about it? And so I actually started working for Elizabeth. I do her graphic design. And now my personal mission within the company is to reach people my age, between, really in particular for me, is 20 to 35, is really just getting out the word, because a lot of women don't know that that age is affected as well. So
That's awesome.
Right.
And how about you, Nicole?
So I met Elizabeth back in September. Unfortunately, our neighbor lost their 29-year-old daughter, and to what that was a heart attack. And I looked at my husband and I said, "How is that even possible? 29 heart attack? That's not right." And I actually I was a praying person. I prayed that week and going, "What can I do? What can I get involved in?" And my mom actually met Elizabeth at an event. And she gave me her information, and I went on her site and found the handbags, and I actually bought a lot of handbags. I love all of her stuff. And she emailed me and goes, "How did you even find out about me?" And so when I picked up the order, I met with her and I said, "How can I get more involved?" And I loved her story. I love that she's teaching women to be advocates for themselves. And it goes, when something doesn't feel right, it's okay to say something, and really, learning from her the importance of, knowing your numbers, making sure that you're pushing your doctor when you feel like they're not doing enough. And so I'm just learning from her, and when she asked me to be a board member, I was like, yes, I want to help get this message out. I want to be a part of this. So
because it's to me, it's crazy. So like you said, you're slender, Elizabeth, you healthy, athletic. And I think a lot of people, if they are in that mode, think, well, this has just got to be a temporary thing. Maybe I pushed myself too hard.
Right.
Maybe I didn't eat the right meal. Maybe I didn't exercise enough this week. Maybe I have the flu. And they won't go in their minds to the fact that there could be something really seriously wrong with their bodies, because they think, I'm an athlete, that can't happen.
Right, well, absolutely. And I was a huge advocate. My father had plumbing issues and had stents. So my whole dad's side had plumbing problems and died very young. So I took it serious. I was shocked that it would happen to me. I figured it would be my brothers, and they don't have it. But I went, and I was constantly in the ER and constantly telling my doctor, there's something with my heart. But nobody would listen. They just kept telling me it was stress. I was anxious, and that they couldn't find anything plumbing. There was no blockages. There was I had no heart attack or anything, so they wouldn't listen, and they finally, after 11 months, convinced me that it was in my head.
That's the problem. So
Right.
What happens is you begin to doubt yourself, even though you know better, because every expert that you're going to time and time again, remember, these are multiple test lab results, stuff that you're going through, and somebody's continuing to tell you there's nothing wrong with you, Elizabeth.
Right.
And you're like, but something's wrong with me. This is not right. I know it. And then you begin to believe that fairy tale.
Right, and going through this and realizing, like, wow, when she said fatal condition, you were born with it, you'll have it the rest of your life, there is no cure. The first thing that came to my mind was that, how do women that are older than me, I was 46 at the time, I'm 54 now, and I was thinking of my mom who's 80, and it's like, how can they fight for help and to keep pushing? Because statistically, like, Ted, if you and I are close to the same age, if we have a heart attack the same day, you I have a 46% higher risk to die the first year because you'll get the help and I won't.
It's so
And
bizarre.
that shouldn't be like
It
that.
should be like that.
And I would be told, they wouldn't tell you it's stress. And so I saw this, and as I was speaking and hearing it over and over again, and even hear from men that say, wow, I wish I'd known these symptoms. I could have helped my mom. I could have
Right.
helped my sister. I could have, told my daughter. And so just getting this out there and getting this known, and hopefully it's 80% preventable if women just know their signs. And that's our mission at Elizabeth Scola Heart Foundation. And what we are taking pride in is we don't have the overhead. None of the money goes towards salary. And that we're trying to make 85 to 90% of the money that we raise will go straight into survivors' hands. Right now we have paid for over 400 women's heart medicine for a year here locally through Florida Hospital, and now we're working with the Mayo Clinic that we're trying to get either some of these watches that can give EKGs, test your heart rate, and hopefully what we want to do is put the power in a female survivor's hands and just be an advocate for themselves. That's where we want to differentiate ourselves, that we're going to put everything that we can into them to help them to succeed in life, and making changes, healthy changes, and just knowing that, not to be afraid of this, but just knowing, wow, this could be in my family, this could be my #1 killer. I mean, there's more women dying a year than all 4 of the infantrymen in World War II. That's scary. And
So
that shouldn't be.
tell me about, so I think people, they think, all right, we've got I'm not going to name them, but we've got these large organizations that we all donate to, we raise money for. And then we talk a lot about on the show how people fall through the cracks. Those organizations are primarily mostly research driven. There's a lot, and that's a good
Great
thing. It really is. But if you need your medicine and you can't afford it, you need transportation, you need all sorts of things.
Right.
There are all these services and ancillary things that go on that I think people don't realize. That's a daily challenge that you're trying to figure out how to overcome, plus trying to fight your disease.
Right.
And so talk a little bit about what you do. You talk about the medicine. So is this medicine, for example, the 400 women, that's medicine that maybe their health insurance couldn't pay for, or the copay was too high,
Right.
or
Right.
talk a little bit about that and how that works. Because you're working with Florida, hey Matt, you're
Right.
working with Florida Hospital on this.
Right, right. Orlando South.
Orlando South.
Right. And we partnered with them about a year after I was working and doing this and raising money through the handbag business, the for-profit. They saw a lot of the work that I was doing, so I was talking with them and they asked if we could partner together. And so 1% of every sale of our handbags it goes towards this, straight to Florida Hospital. And so now with the nonprofit, the Heart Foundation, the money that we raise will go straight into the foundation, Heart Foundation, and then it will pool with everybody else's donations. So we'll have a much more powerful reach, more of an impact globally, and more than just Florida Hospital here locally, that we would be able to, to touch women's lives. So if somebody, were to come to us and say, hey, we don't have the medicine that we need, because right now the way it works is that there's the Florida Hospital Cardiovascular Foundation, and I have met several of the doctors here at Florida Hospital South and seen their work, and I go behind the scenes. I get so excited because I get to see ablations, I get to see heart procedures. So I'm back there. I get to see, these doctors and what the work that they do. So we're trying to even expand that bigger, that it can touch
Sure.
more than just heart medicine, that maybe if they need equipment, then we can help maybe raise the money. Something that's going to help the end user of a survivor, because it's also, the other thing is that many of the women, if you go through heart disease, you get very depressed. It's statistically known. And so this gives them the power of knowing that they can live through this and survive through this. And that's where, Nicole can share a little bit of some of the things, projects that we're working on too, to show that there's life after.
Share, Nicole, tell us. Tell us about life after.
Well, I can't speak from experience of life after, but I want to help people have, better experiences. And we've had a couple spirit nights to just really, raise awareness, raise dollars for our cause. But also, when we do those fundraisers, We've done it at Tijuana Flats. We've done it at a local brewery. And we're working on a bigger event, hopefully coming up soon. And, you know, it's fun to do those events because it's a two-part to me, where it goes, you know, we're raising money for these local heart disease survivors so they can, you know, have a better quality of life, but we're also getting the message out there.
Absolutely.
Starting the conversation with people. You know, we haven't really done a whole lot with the foundation yet because we just got started, but I've already been hugged twice from people going, you know, hey, thanks for being on here, thanks for doing, and everybody has a personal story or been touched by this in some way. So, you know, just inspiring women to be their own advocates and, you know, making sure that they know the signs. And then also, like, we're helping local women in so many different ways. And
I think you feel alone, right? I mean,
Yeah.
when you're going through whatever your health
Yes.
crisis is,
Yep.
people are very kind, right? They're kind, they want to help, but they're not you and they're not experiencing what you're experiencing right at that moment. And so when you reach the blockades, the obstacles, the things that you have to go through to try to get treatment, to try to be an advocate, to then try to get medicine if you're in that
Yeah.
situation, try to get to treatment, to try to get to your appointments, to try to keep a job, to keep a roof over your head. There's so many things that are going on in addition to you trying to stay healthy and alive.
Right.
And I think people don't understand that. It's such an important factor of all of these health issues that people go through. You're trying to stay alive, and yet you still have to live your life as if nothing else is going on.
Right.
And
Right.
that's the challenge.
Well, and empowering, I speak a lot about empowering women, and a lot of women think about their business plan, their careers, and, you know, where they're headed to reach those goals. But if we lose our health, we won't reach any of those goals or dreams. And so I kind of like, you know, have women step back a minute and say, hey, are you eating right? Are you exercising? Are you watching your numbers? And just saying, did you know this is our number one killer? This is lurking behind the scenes, and I'm going to give you the power of just knowing about this, and now you can add this into some of these goals or vision boards that, hey, I'm going to take care of my health too.
Right.
And especially if it's in your family, you think, oh, it's a man's disease. It's not.
You really do think that. You're right. And then there's so many things that go undetected. Like you had to go, Elizabeth, to Mayo.
Right.
To get the answers. And these are the things, and she's obviously a big advocate for herself. So imagine somebody who isn't an advocate at all, and all they do is just accept. I don't like the acceptance part. If you know you are not feeling well and you know the answers you're getting are not right, you have to continue to push through and be your best advocate, because nobody else is going to do it.
Nobody knows your body as well as you do.
They really don't.
Listen to the signs. Don't wait until it's too late. We have to take care of the women in our life, and men, pay attention to this too. And because I found that, like I was saying earlier, like if I said, Ted, hey, we need to go to 911, most likely you're, to the ER, you're going to say, okay, all right. But if you in turn said to me, what would a normal, woman do? I'd say, oh, Ted, I'm fine. I'll be okay.
Correct.
Don't worry about it.
I know.
Right? Am
I'm
I right?
just tired.
How many women can relate?
I'm just exhausted, and you're exhausted.
Yeah.
But you have to continue to push through that. You have to. I'm not saying it's easy. None of us are saying it's easy. But it's a better choice to push through and try to get answers than it is to end up us talking about you being in the past. I mean, I think it's so important for you to understand that that's such an impact. There's such an impact on all the people around you. So just take that little bit of inconvenience to go to the ER. That's what people tell me. Their number one complaint is it's inconvenient. I don't want to sit there.
Who has
Well,
time?
nobody wants to sit there, guys. But would you rather do that than be taken in an ambulance, pronounced dead?
Right.
There's the alternative just isn't even a real alternative. So you have to be strong. You have to be your own proponent and advocate.
Right.
All right. So if I missed anything, are there any parting words of wisdom? Anything you guys want to share that I did not share? You guys are so good. I love what you're doing because nobody else that I'm aware of. We have the big organizations, but
Right.
there are, again, so many people who are impacted that miss out because they don't know enough. They don't know that you all have a presence and you're
Right.
there. Even if you're just there for information and awareness, that is such a big thing. Just somebody to talk to, somebody to go, okay, I'm going through this, what should I do? I mean, I know you're not psychologists, but you have the ability to direct them
Right,
somewhere
right.
and help them, and an ear.
Well, two things in parting is if you want to, we're looking for volunteers and of course donations. Elizabeth Scoville Heart Foundation. Last name is spelled S as in Sam, C-O V as in Victor I-L, heartfoundation.com. And just if we could just take 1 minute, I want Delby, she's just 25, but to share that if you think that you're over 50 and maybe being a target, it's not. There's a growing number of 20-year-olds that's dying from heart disease. So I'll just let her just give a few parting words as well, Delby.
Please.
Yeah, it's really crazy because a lot of people think, okay, well, when I'm older, I'll make those healthy lifestyle changes. Oh, it can be tomorrow, but it's today. It's today that needs to be focused on. We need to be making those healthy lifestyle changes today, eating better, not having all those yummy treats that are so good. But, you know, maybe cutting some of those out of your diet and thinking about tomorrow and thinking about your lifestyle and trying to, you know, work out, trying to just go for a 5-minute walk here and there. Just making these changes today can really impact your tomorrow and make you have a tomorrow of family and friends who want you here too. So just changing those things now can really get you farther in life, and that's something that people my age need to be focusing on and reading up on. And you can read a lot of those facts and information that Elizabeth was talking about on the Heart Foundation page as well.
Awesome. How about you, Nicole? Anything you want to leave us with?
Yes, I agree with Delby on the importance of taking care of yourself. I am a huge runner, and so if anybody out there at the corporate 5K, I'll be wearing my Elizabeth Scoville Foundation shirt. Please feel free to say hello. But yeah, the importance of getting out there and being active and just taking care of yourself. And I'm a mom of 2 younger boys, and my youngest son has become part of the foundation and helps us raise awareness too, but just the importance of, you know, taking care of yourself and giving back and being, you know, if you do have younger ones, that also, you're a role model for them. And so, yeah.
I agree.
Right, and for a women's heart attack, it could be a shortness of breath, pressure in your chest, it could be your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, everything. Don't ignore those signs. And flu-like. If you think you have the flu, don't dismiss it. You know your body better than anybody. Pay attention. And it's Elizabeth Scoville Heart Foundation. If you love handbags, the money we raise gets donated into the foundation too, and that is elizabethscoville.com.
Love it. All right, Elizabeth, Delby, Nicole, you guys are
Thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
Please reach out to them. We're going to share all of their contact information, how you can find out more information about the foundation, about the handbags, about all of the amazing work that they're doing, and Elizabeth's personal story, all of that good stuff. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention and be your best advocate, because you're the only person who really is going to do that for you. So we love you guys. Appreciate all 3 of you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Ted.
guys so much for tuning in. Share the show. Get the message out. We love you.